Hello, everybody. Oh, nobody knows what it's like to get onto these live streams. So difficult for me, not being technical. Anyway, I'm here. So that's the main thing I've actually got here. I just want to talk today about all the fear and all the worry and all the stress that is in the world. And at the moment, that is quite a lot. But we need to be aware as well that we can, no matter what goes on, can have a kind of a sense of peace about us, because what is happening externally is absolutely not who we are internally. And it's really important that I stress this to you today. Okay. Many people talk about the spirit world and consciousness. They talk about the food that we eat, how it affects us and what it does to us and stops us communicating with the spirit world. Well, I just want to come today to verify some of all this that we're hearing. It's wonderful for the guides to come and give information and do into the world. We definitely do need that. But we also need to maintain a connection to the spirit world ourselves. And we can do that. That is really important. Now, I'm going to say to you that I have a non-malignant brain tumour. And I had an MRI scan. And people talk about the gland in the mind, in the head, the brain. I think it's the pituitary gland, is it called? Which is the gland that they say connects to spirit. Now, I've been a medium for 20 years, so it was quite intriguing for me to have an MRI scan, which I did, and talk to the brain surgeon. Now, fortunately, this non-malignant brain tumour is not doing anything. And even if he did, it doesn't matter, because I'm not this person, I am spirit. But we won't get into that too much. But the gland itself is normal. So it's not large, it's not small, it's just normal. So this proves for me that this gland is just a normal gland and that we can still communicate with the spirit world. Whether they put something in the water or they put something in the food, because I'm drinking the water, I'm eating the food. I'm 63 and I'm still here. So therefore, I'm not saying that the food isn't, what they're doing with the food and water isn't very good. It's not, but it doesn't stop us communicating with the spirit world. And that's what's important, that we can make that connection ourselves. And also, because of all the worry and the stress and the fear, it sends us and closes us down into more of a human state of being, and we kind of freeze and not able to be able to function or communicate with the spirit world. They don't want us to do this. They want us to know that they are there for us no matter what. And in this world, you know, you look, I mean, I've been watching programs for a long on Netflix as I've been in the house and having not much to do, and as you go through the centuries, it doesn't change. It is still, we're still in the same environment as they were thousands of years ago, because there are people who want to hurt us and there's people who are kind and loving, and we're still in the same environment as we are now. Now, I understand about the Great Awakening and that we have to raise our vibration. I totally understand that and I totally get that. But for me, I'm talking about the connection with our loved ones. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how much they are there for us and helping us through these trials and tribulations that we're going through. Now, I'm 63. 20 years, when I was 44, nearly 20 years ago, I had no connection at all with the spirit world. I was very, very in the world, like a lot of people are. I had no idea that my family who had passed were still there for me. The only way this happened to me is that when I was 44, I was going through a very, very difficult time. You could say I was on the verge of having a nervous breakdown. My heart was breaking. I've never had an easy life, but I mean, this was even worse. I was in a terrible, terrible state. I worked in an office. I was a very earthy person. I was very ambitious. I, I wasn't too bad, but I could be judgmental. I was like everybody else in the world, and I would um, kind of, not think of others in the same way as I do now. And I was in a terrible, terrible emotional state. I was on antidepressants. I couldn't work. I was crying constantly. I cried for a year. And I swear I cried for all my life, all the pain and the suffering I had in my life. And here I was again in a deep, deep state of depression. My whole world was coming to an end. My husband was trying to help me. My family were trying to help me. But no one could answer the problem I had in this world, really. When I look back on it, it would have been an impossible situation. Now, I was very, very close to my grandparents. My grandfather was such a wonderful, wonderful man. Oh, it's making me want to cry. He was a true, true gentleman, and he died 18 years prior as this was happening to me. And one night I went to bed and he came to me in a dream and he told me to go to a spiritual church. You bear in mind, I would never ever have gone to a spiritual church. And here I am being told to go, and I was terrified of spirits. I would never ever have had anything to do with the spirit world. Well, for me, it didn't even exist. I thought it was a load of rubbish. I thought there was no way there's another world. Just no way. I'd gone to church a bit. I wasn't religious, really. I just got on with my life like everybody else. And he told me to go to the spiritual church in this dream, and it was very, very real. I've never dreamt anything like it, and it was very real. And the next morning, I did tell my husband, and he said it was just a dream, forget it. Well, to cut a long story short, I was absolutely nagged inside my body. Never, ever have I ever experienced anything like it. It wouldn't go away. It was constant nagging. You've got to go to a spiritual church. And I kept thinking, where the hell's this coming from? And I kept telling my husband, and he kept saying, forget it. Don't get involved in that, for God's sake. He was saying, don't get involved. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? 6 weeks later, I walked down the road from where I lived, and there was this lady who I did know vaguely, and her name was Adele. That's all I will say. And she said to me, "Are you all right?" Well, started crying. Couldn't console myself, and she said, "Come and have a cup of tea." For some reason, I told her about this dream, and she said that my granddad had visited me, and that I told her about going to the spiritual church, and she said, "You need to go." So this was on the Thursday. So on the Sunday, she said she would take me to Wolverhampton, the spiritual church. And to be honest, I had tried to look for a spiritual church prior to this, but I couldn't find one. And I was too scared to go in on my own anyway. So I told my husband I was going, and he wasn't very happy about it because he thought that I was getting into something that was not very good, and it was a bit evil, if you like. Anyway, when I went, I was petrified. That's the only thing I could say. I thought there's going to be spirits flying around the room, and I'm going to be absolutely petrified. When we pulled up at the building, it wasn't like that at all. And we went in, and it was lovely. And she reassured me it would be really nice in there. And it really was nice in there. It was a really lovely atmosphere. Nothing that I'd been told, not evil, nothing like that. So anyway, when we sat in the congregation, they made me very welcome. They absolutely made me very welcome. And we sat in the congregation and the service started. I knew that medium, and I wish to God I knew her name now, because she saved my life, would come to me. I didn't know how the service was going to progress. I didn't know how they went about the way the service was, but I knew as soon as I saw her that she was going to come to me. I had no idea why I knew, but I knew, and that frightened me even more. But anyway, the service progressed, and then she started doing the demonstration. And within 3 or 4 messages, she come straight to me, looked straight at me, and she said, "Can I talk to you, please?" And I was like, "Oh my God." And I said yes, as I was sinking down my seat a bit. She bore my granddad. This is my granddad and my grandmother. If you can see them. Whoops, I'm going all over the place. They were the kindest, loving people you could ever wish to meet. And she told me things about them that I could not believe. She'd never met me before. She'd never seen me before. She had no idea who I was. She gave me their names. She gave me dates. She gave me birthdays. She told me things about me with my granddad when I was a little girl, how I used to go with him all the time, that he was like a father to me. My Uncle John. And she said that my granddad said to me, he did not know how I was surviving in this world the way I was. The fear, the pain, the heartbreak, the suffering, the emotional turmoil was unbelievable. And he said he wanted me to stop feeling like this because he was there, helping me through this hard time, that my grandmother was there as well, and that they were going to help me get through this. Well, you can't imagine the feeling when you think that they were dead, and yet here they were telling me that they're still very much alive and they're helping me through this situation, through these hard times, and that by the time the next 2 or 3 years had come by, everything would be okay. And I've got nothing to fear. Well, I was literally speechless. And I walked out that church on cloud 100. Now, that was a mega experience for me, and everything that was said was truth. That in the future years, what they said was absolute truth, and it did happen. And from that moment, I felt a massive sense of well-being and peace. And I want to bring that sense of well-being and peace to you, because that could happen to me. Excuse me. That can happen to you. It doesn't matter what they put in the food or what they fear or what they do. At the end of the day, that connection is always there. And if you're feeling upset and fearful and worried about the current situation, it will pass. This current situation will pass. It always passes. But also, I want you to understand this, that we are people in the spirit world just the same as we are people here. So no matter what happens to us, because there is a massive fear here, you know, with our children, what's going to happen in their life with all this going on. And there are people who are not nice people who want to hurt us. They are there, but then the world is duality. So even though people are horrible on one side of the coin, we have really good, kind, caring people here on the other side of the coin. And not only do we have those, we have our loved ones in the spirit world who are looking after us as well. And when I feel fear, what I do, I turn that fear back into knowing that my granddad, my husband, my family in the spirit world are there for me, and knowing that whatever happens to me, whatever, I'm going to see them again. You know, passing over can be a very joyous experience. It can be an absolutely wonderful experience. So we need not be frightened of it. But also, if we're so fearful here, we can't live. And our job is to be kind and caring for others as well. So, like, well, sorry, I'm not my computer. So the thing is, like, we can always make that connection. In the spirit world, there are buildings, we are able to move about, be with our families, do things like we can here. And that is a wonderful thing, isn't it? You know, it's a miracle. It's a miracle to know this is not all it is. It is an absolute miracle. And no doubt, you know, the sittings that I have given people over the many years has woke them up to this absolute miracle. And I just wanted to pass this on to you, that no matter what people say, you know, if we're consciousness, but we do carry on like we are. We don't melt into a melting pot of just a being. We are still the same people. And I know that because there are stories of reincarnation in my own experience, and I will bring that to you as well on the next video. I'm not going to leave this too long, but please, if you feel fearful and you would like a sitting and I can help you in any way, then contact me and I will do what I can for you. I will bring maybe evidence like that medium did to me all those years ago. Maybe I can bring that evidence through for you to ease the fear, ease the burden of this life, and know that our loved ones are there for us. I just wanted to leave that message. And, you know, I mean, it is a pituitary gland, I'm sure it is, but I mean, that non-malignant brain tumour has also shown me that my brain is normal. I don't have to have any special function in it to contact my grandfather or my husband or whatever. So with that, I hope that's given you some hope and some inspiration and some calmness to be at peace. You know, you don't have to be positive. That's not what it's about. You don't have to be this end of the scale or this end of the scale, positive or negative. You cannot be positive all the time, and life is not positive all the time. But what you can have, and this is the key. This is the key. This is about being now. This minute. This minute is being now. And when you're in the now, okay, you can have more peace and enjoy your life day to day, moment by moment. That's all you need to do. And have the trust. Sit quietly, ask your family to come close. When you're in the now, that's the more chance of being able to receive that communication and that feeling inside your tummy that tells you should be doing something. Well, do it. Do what that feeling tells you, because that's the guidance as well. So what I'm going to do now is leave you in this moment. This moment is all that matters. This peace now is all that matters. And knowing that the connection with spirit is always there. Okay. And I hope that gives you a better day, a more peaceful day, and a calm day. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon. And with that, I send you my love and blessings and say thank you for listening to me again. And I will do some more videos. God bless you all. Thank you.